Welcome to 13 News on another beautiful afternoon. Isn't it great out there?
It is nice, yeah. Now I will tell you, by the closer we get to 4 or 5 o'clock, we have a little secondary front that's going to be moving in.
Okay.
I think the finish of the day is going to be a little bit different than the start and the middle part of the day.
So grab a jacket, head outside, get a walk in this afternoon.
We're not talking Arctic cold front, but it's certainly the wind will be noticeable for sure there, Dustin. And I think we'll see an increase in cloud cover. Let's get you covered here, though, noontime. Forecast right now playing out as expected. We still have a lot of blue sky out there. Starting to notice some clouds flaring up, and this is part of the process with a secondary front that will come in, and that will eventually shift our wind to the west and northwest. Right now, though, as you can see, it's more of a west to southwest wind, and right on cue, temperatures peaking today in the lower to middle 60s before this secondary boundary pushes in. I mentioned wind is the big story for us. We're going to have gusts at times that get well above 30 miles per hour, so you're going to feel that. 60s on the map mainly right now. Here's the secondary boundary. It does not have a lot of moisture. Remember, we talked about this, but enough so that there's going to be some sprinkles and a few showers passing by. But I want to point your attention to what's going on in Rensselaer at 52, Kankakee 52, and 54 in Peoria. Our temperatures will peak here the next couple of hours, and then they'll start to go down into the 50s by 4 or 5 p.m. The coldest air of this little batch is yet to come. I'll have more on that and the frost potential in the forecast here in a few minutes.
Neighborhood overall is fairly quiet, at least the street is, except that one house over there. There always seems to be a problem going on at least 2 or 3 times a month.
Now to that developing story we brought you as breaking news earlier today on Sunrise, and we are still learning new details about exactly what happened. This was a double shooting early this morning on the south side. A man died, a woman was hurt. This all happened near East Raymond and Shelby Streets. It's across from the White Castle, if you're familiar with that area. Police say the woman was able to walk down the street looking for help after she'd been shot. She then led officers to an alleyway on Tabor Street where they found a man with multiple gunshot wounds who was dead. Police are working to piece this all together, but they say they can't do it alone. They say they need the community's help to solve cases like this.
Continue to see those numbers still stay down. This seems like it's been really difficult, and that we continue to hear negativity about our community, our Indianapolis. Throughout this nation, our numbers continue to stay down. And again, from that 2021 time frame to now, over 50% down in criminal homicides. That's remarkable, but that doesn't happen without the community's help and all the hard and dedicated work of the IMPD and all those other agencies that have put forth their efforts. And we want to thank them and the community for all their work.
So officers still working this case. They are speaking with neighbors in that area. They tell us they have not recovered a weapon yet. The woman accused of a fatal road rage shooting appeared before a judge for the first time today. 23-year-old Deborah Benefiel walked into court this morning, as you see right there, charged with murder. Police tell us this whole thing began when 21-year-old Kentrell Settles and his girlfriend were in a car waiting to turn at 38th and Georgetown. The light turned green, but Benefiel, who was in the car in front, didn't go. So police say the Settles, he honked his horn and drove around the car. Investigators say Benefiel followed the couple, and they say she shot through their back window, hitting Settles. He died at the hospital.
This was literally just a simple honk of the horn between two people who didn't know each other, a seemingly insignificant incident that happens every day in our community. Only this time someone lost their life.
In court today, Benefiel was given a no-contact order against Settles' girlfriend and was not granted bond due to the murder charge. Benefiel did say she had a meeting today to hire an attorney. A 17-year-old boy is behind bars today accused of killing a man on the northwest side. This happened back on September 30th near 56th Street and I-465. When officers got there, they found 38-year-old William Deaton shot and killed. Investigators say the whole situation began when a woman had gone there to meet up with the 17-year-old boy. Police said that the boy became aggressive with her and pointed a gun at her, causing her to scream for help. Officers say Deaton heard this, stepped in to protect her, and that's when police say the teen shot him. To Hancock County now, where a trial continues today for a hit-and-run crash. It left a teen boy critically hurt. Aaron McGee is charged with leaving the scene of an accident resulting in catastrophic injury. That wreck happened more than 2 years ago. Police say 13-year-old Jasper Young was riding his bike when he was struck by a car. Investigators say they were able to then tie McGee and his car to the scene. Young suffered a traumatic brain injury as a result of that crash. He spent 6 months in a Chicago rehab facility learning how to do things like speaking, walking, and reading again. Prosecutors say McGee's failure to stop is why he's on trial.
Instead of stopping, pulling over, exchanging information, doing anything that is required under the statute, he certainly didn't check on Jasper. He panicked and he drove off.
Now, the defense argues Jasper's recovery is proof McGee is not guilty. Indiana law defines a catastrophic injury as bodily injury so severe that a person's ability to live independently is significantly impaired for a period of at least a year. So we'll continue to monitor that trial. Also, lawyers for a man accused of hitting and killing a state trooper claim he is too mentally disabled for a sentence of life without parole. But the judge in the case says those lawyers failed to prove it. Eddie Jones is charged with the murder of Trooper Aaron Smith. Smith died back in June of 23, while police say he was trying to stop Jones during a chase. A judge ruled Jones does not have a disability, pointing out that he graduated from high school with a full diploma, had adequate grades, and was able to hold multiple jobs. Now to a developing story today as we learn more about Pacers guard Cam Jones, accused of leading police on a chase here in Indianapolis. Troopers say they tried to pull the rookie over for reckless driving, going 90 miles an hour on I-65, changing lanes several times without a signal, but they say he took off. Video shows police eventually stopped Jones on 65 near the Fletcher Avenue exit. All of this happening around 10 o'clock yesterday morning, middle of the morning. Court documents say Jones told police he was running late for practice. The Pacers released a short statement to 13 News saying, "We are aware of the situation involving Cam Jones. We are in the process of gathering additional information and will not have any additional comment on the matter at this time." A snap decision could have millions of people struggling to pay for food. Federal leaders say if the government shutdown continues, there will not be enough money to pay out SNAP benefits next month. Around 600,000 Hoosier families use SNAP benefits every month. A letter from the USDA says the money to fill those EBT cards has run out. Now they're telling states to hold off on paying out November SNAP funds. Emily Weichert Bryant with Feeding Americans Hungry says food banks are already facing this, and it puts more pressure on food banks and organizations experiencing an influx in need.
Missed paychecks jeopardize people's ability to afford food for their families, to help them thrive, to cover their other household expenses. And hardworking individuals may be forced to turn to their local food bank for food assistance until that stability is restored.
Bryant emphasizes that SNAP and WIC benefits for this month are still there. If you haven't gotten yours yet, she says they are loading. Those benefits will not disappear. The latest now on the redistricting debate. Democrats in the Indiana Black Legislative Caucus are speaking out against efforts to redraw our congressional maps. And it comes days after Senate Republicans joined a call with President Trump to talk about redistricting. They say their concerns are focused on District 7 here in Indianapolis and the 1st District up there in the northwest corner of the state where there are large black populations. We know those two Democratic districts are targets in the White House effort to gain Republican seats in next year's midterms. State Senator Greg Taylor says redrawing these districts will hurt black voters.
It could disenfranchise hundreds of thousands of voters, not only in the state of Indiana, but in this country. And the most important part about that is it could lower the amount of minority representation in Congress.
Taylor points to the Senate districts in Fort Wayne. The city is divided into 4 Republican districts. He says it's home to one of the larger minority populations in the state and says because of these Senate districts, the minority vote is already diluted there.